Okay, so just in brief, what is resilience? Why is it essential? And how can I grow my own resilience? We need to first of all understand what resilience is so that we're on the same page and we can define things the same way. But in brief, resilience is the ability to experience tough things in life, and sometimes even mild things, anything that's challenging to us, that's stressful, and be able to continue meaning and function through that stressful event. What is stressful to one person might not be stressful to another. However, as we grow in our resilience, our ability to manage stressful events goes up. That is a basic definition of resilience. It's just maintaining purpose, meaning, and function while facing difficult events. One good way to illustrate resilience is two people go through the same horrific event. Maybe two people go through being a prisoner of war and come home, and one of them thrives off of these traumatic and terrible and abusive situations that they were both put through, and the other one cannot seem to recover from it. Now, this is not to say that one person is to blame or that one person was weaker. What is well researched and documented is a phenomena that we refer to now as resilience. The reason that it is essential is because if we don't have, well, let's say that somebody has a very low amount of resilience. This person might find themselves too sensitive to operate at school functionally, or maybe too sensitive to be able to handle life events. And life will be throwing a lot of difficult events at every single one of us. And if you're one of these lucky people that have escaped life's hard events so far, know that that doesn't continue forever. We all need to have resilience because life is going to throw a lot of curveballs our way. When a difficult life event comes, or even a mildly difficult life event, we need to be able to have the resilience to not lose our purpose and meaning and function. For instance, if you get bullied at school, or if you lose your job, or if your boyfriend or girlfriend breaks up with you, or if you lose your family or life, that's silly. Or even mild things like, I remember once I lost my journal and it was like distressing to me for weeks, and it's a mild thing, but without some amount of resilience, it would have felt like a catastrophe. And so that's what resilience is being able to tolerate those life events. It has everything to do with what you would refer to in the DSM as post-traumatic stress, or positive psychologists talk about post-traumatic growth. I suppose I should mention too that in our time period, it might be easy to look at us and say, oh, look, we've become so weak because we aren't facing the same trials that our ancient ancestors did. Depression is no less painful for somebody a long time ago than it is for us now. And sadness and emotion and our feeling of terror and dread is no less painful now. Most of the people listening to this right now are not wondering where their next meal is coming from, like our ancestors did. And most of us aren't worried about Vikings sailing into your city and ravishing and plundering and taking people as slaves. Most of us don't have to worry about huge catastrophic things happening to us from the environment, or worry about being pillaged by the tribe next door, or worry about eagles picking up our children while we turn our backs. Because we don't have the same trials as our ancient ancestors, it might be easy to say that we don't have their resilience. But that's the cool thing about us as humans, is that we pass on these really powerful genes throughout our progeny. And then we all have the strength of all of our ancestors. And I mean that very literally. Like, we have every ounce of strength and tenacity and, of course, resilience that any of them ever had. And we need to develop this Because while our challenges have certainly changed from our ancient ancestors, what hasn't changed is the amount of pain that we feel from our events now. And so we're just as strong as humanity's ever been with our integrity and in our hearts and our internal minds. And if you have gone through painful trials, or if you've gone through events in your life and you've wondered, why is it that hurt me so bad when it didn't hurt maybe my sibling perhaps, or maybe it hurt me so much, but it doesn't seem to have hurt my friend who went through a similar thing. And the difference here may often be resilience and building up that ability. Now, here's the thing, there are genetic traits that make some people more naturally resilient than others. But while it might be easy for us to write that off and say, oh, okay, well, I don't have it naturally, so I'm just gonna have to suffer. Don't. And that's because so much of resilience is about what we've done to develop it in our life, and so much about resilience can be developed. It might seem easy to say to yourself, oh, I don't need to build resilience because I haven't faced those life circumstances, I haven't been through those traumatic events, or maybe I've already been through that and I know that I do or don't have the fortitude and resilience that I need. You might say, I am the way I am and I can't do anything about that. And that's what I want to push back on a little bit. You might say to yourself, I am the way I am and I can't do anything about it. Incidentally, that's a little bit of learned helplessness there, and we should talk about that in one of our future Chalk Talks. The good news is that resilience is absolutely, positively something you can grow. I was deciding between the word grow or develop. Develop suggests that you might not have it yet and that you need to develop it. But growing it means that you already have it. And all we have to do is build off of what you already know. If you've listened to me at all, you know that every single person who I encounter in my life, or that I feel like is a client of mine, or one of the members in our masterclass, are gurus. And I say gurus and mean it. Like, we all have wisdom in our hearts, and we all have resilience. Every single one of us has some amount of resilience, and all we have to do is exercise that and grow it. Now, there are very specific ways, and what's cool about the time period we live in right now is that it has never been so easy to learn from the wisdom of others and to connect with other gurus and other people who have wisdom that we don't. And it's never been so easy to share the wisdom with others that we already have. If you know me at all, or if you've ever seen one of my Chalk Talks here, you know that every single person is a guru. That's what I say over and over. I am always humbled by anybody that shares some feedback about our courses or that shares their wisdom. What I've learned about resilience, I've learned from other people that are gurus and masters, and I'm really excited to share it here. This introductory video is a clip from a much larger series of videos that you can find on revealmyself.com.